Committee, sent out a notice that its hearing on global warming was canceled due to the chilly weather and a snowstorm that was about to hit. Now there was no snowstorm that had hit at the time, and it was chilly weather, which I guess is proof to some of global warming. A couple of other wonderful things that are happening here. I don't know if you've seen this. I know you have, Fred. Oscar. Was this Leno?
No, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, they do these man-on-the-street things. You've got to click on this. It's called, What Do You Think About Obama Pardoning the Sequester and Sending It to Portugal? They had a gentleman, I imagine in New York, interviewing people about what they thought about President Obama pardoning the sequester and then, of course, sending it to Portugal. And everyone, of course, I'm sure they just picked the best, but everyone there had an opinion on it. Most thought it was a good idea. They didn't. Some of them did not like the idea of sending it to Portugal.
It gives you a sense of the low information voters that we really are up against.
Well, as Mark Stein has said, Mark Stein is arguably the best political commentator out there. Quote, "You're doomed, America." This is in response to the Pop-Tart debacle, where a child in school chewed his Pop-Tart into what some thought resembled a gun and was suspended from school. Mark's comments, "You're doomed, America. You're done for. No society can survive this level of stupidity. The school counselor is available to meet with any students who are traumatized by hearing reports of some guy 4 grades below them who nibbles a Pop-Tart into a gun-like shape." Institutionalized stupidity.
Yeah, a couple little comments on that. I saw on Facebook the other day somebody had a picture of Florida and said that all of the students, all the students in Florida have been suspended because Florida looks like a gun.
It does. It's frightening.
It does. It's amazing. It's amazing. But I've often wondered this. I threw a kid out of school the other day for having.
You did?
No, some folks did in Michigan, I believe. That threw a kid out of school because they had a paper gun. And I've often wondered, you can't take pictures of guns, you can't bring in your army men on your cupcakes, you can't have a Hello Kitty gun, which shoots bubbles. If you look through a history book, are there not pictures of the Minutemen with guns? Are there not, if you look at the Civil War, do they not have pictures of the battles?
University of Massachusetts mascot is a Minuteman, and I believe they took the gun off of the mascot photograph.
Would they give him a watch?
I think he's got, it's like a Hello Kitty something. No, think about that. University of Massachusetts, the home of the Minutemen. And now the Minuteman does not have a gun.
I'm waiting for one of these families to go in and sue the county or the schools for the images that they have in the books. And I can guarantee you that if they go to the library in every one of these schools, they ought to be suspending all those librarians. Because that there are books in there that have guns, references to guns, pictures of guns, things about guns, all of these different kinds of things. So let's start applying the rules to the administrators.
Fred, here's the problem.
Okay. That's my rant for today.
No, and I agree with you 100%, but here's the problem. The problem isn't one person's poor decision-making. The problem is we have institutionalized not just stupidity, but the acceptance and, in some cases, the celebration of stupidity. The people, these are school superintendents, school principals, school teachers. The people who are involved in these examples that you talk about still have their jobs.
Right. So let's make them live by their own rules, Alinsky rule number, whatever it is. Make them live by their own rules. Go into their libraries, check and see how many pictures of guns are in there, sue the city, make sure that we fire all those people that were involved, including all of the teachers and all of the administrators and the librarians, and make them live by their own rules.
Well, we know that we do have the Democrat presidential candidate John Edwards. We do have two Americas, and if in fact this was a private company making idiotic decisions like this, they would be sued. They're not sued, and almost we got to be happy because if you do sue like I did sue the county commission, if you do sue a municipality, you're essentially just suing yourself because win or lose, you pay. And unfortunately, but what we have again is this institutionalized stupidity. Because remember, when you hire people, be they an airline pilot or somebody who's digging holes or somebody who's a superintendent or principal or teacher in a school, you're hiring them not just for the skills that they may or may not bring to the table into the school system, but you're hiring them because they've exhibited excellent judgment, good judgment over time. And when you've got idiotic things like somebody, I mean, think about the escalation where multiple people saw a child eating a Pop-Tart. It was in the shape of Florida. And so from the teacher to the principal to the school superintendent, probably to the school board, they said this is worthy of taking this fourth grader and kicking him out of school. They have exhibited to me the kind of judgment that disqualifies them from that job. That job, teaching our children, requires good judgment. Now, not everybody has great judgment, but not everybody has a right to be a teacher or an administrator. And if in fact you have gone out and you've said, look, I am such a bonehead that, yeah, I might have some skills here, but I just make really poor decisions a lot, that's fine. There are jobs for you where you can be told what to do. These people are not in those positions. We need to start raising Cain and getting them out of those positions. Huh?
I agree.
There we go. Well, I figured you would, and that's why I said it, because I need people to agree with me. Well, let me tell you.
That's why it brings me
since I'm being laughed at here,
because he knows I don't, so that's why,
I know. I'm getting a frowny face over there from the guy who controls this entire show.
I don't disagree with you on that one.
Well, anyway. At Mona Shores, I keep telling people that you can stand tall. At the very least, you've got to either send an email or pick up the phone and call these electeds. But you do have an opportunity here that's, I think, kind of unique and I think great. Mona Shores School Board. Mona Shores is a decently run school, from what I understand, although they do have full-time child care for students, in case you're interested. But one of the school board members...
I might send my wife back to school.
Well, there we go. Well, one of the school board members in Mona Shores school system is actually he's looking for a job within the district, so he has resigned from the board. I guess you're not allowed to be on the board and be an employee at the same time. You can, apparently, the way I read it, it says, quote, those interested in serving as a board member in Mona Shores should send letters of interest to Superintendent Dave Peden, 121 Randall Road, Muskegon, Michigan, 49441.
Mona Shores, though, weren't they the ones that had that superintendent that was spending some money on one of his brothers, some kind of account where they were the building of the high school area there and building up.
I'm not sure of that. I know that the boneheads on the board and the boneheads at the administration lost, what, $4 to $6 million by investing with some idiot, Joe's Investments and Hubcap Shop out of Southfield, Michigan. Okay. It seems to me that the board there could use some new folks. But if you're interested, here's an opportunity to at least apply. One of the things that I keep telling people, too, first time you apply for something or the first time you run for public office, you're not expected to win or to get appointed. But it helps you put together whatever resume you have to submit. Interestingly, they give you no advice in terms of what Superintendent Dave Peden wants in terms of letters of interest. But actually, I think I will send mine in. I'm sure they'll appoint me to something. Hey, there's another one going on here that's got my attention, and that is something that my co-host on the morning show here on the Talkin' Muskegon show, Brian Worsham, was involved with, and I really applaud Fruitport Township Supervisor Brian Worsham and Norton Shores Mayor Gary Nealand. I applaud them. They found, and they from what I have read and from what I've been told personally, they were quite unhappy with the way that their communities were being treated by the Muskegon Heights Water District. And in the face of severe racial comments that this was all being done on a racial basis, they chose to officially, just this past week, to notify Muskegon Heights that, in fact, they will no longer be getting the water. This starts, I believe, in 2015. and in fact have connected with a far better deal financially and in any number of other ways better with the city of Muskegon to provide water services to those two. Matter of fact, those are the only two, I believe, really actually booming and growing communities within our county. And there will be significant savings. What happens in Muskegon Heights? Well, clearly, when you've lost probably 95% of your revenue, that water system is in terrible trouble. I don't know if the residents of the state, the residents of the county, will be forced to bail it out, or if in fact they will allow it to go into some type of bankruptcy and then be picked up, maybe perhaps by the city of Muskegon. But it takes some guts to stand tall. It certainly is a lot easier, as our county commissioners have done, just to sit around and do nothing or say, oh, it's too horrid, or I don't want to be called a racist, or what have you. These two gentlemen stood tall. They convinced their boards to make the choice. There was any number of folks out there fighting this, and they stood tall. It's going to happen. It's going to be better for the citizens. Wow. Great move. We'll be back after this break.
The Talkin' Muskegon program can now be heard live every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. here on News Talk 1090. This is John Van Wyk.
And Brian Worsham. We will focus on community events, news, weather, and sports. We'll also bring you traffic updates, weekly segments like the movies with Ron Van Timmeren, the Biker Report, and Lumberjacks. This is Talkin' Muskegon right here, 8 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of Muskegon, News Talk 1090.
Hey, it's Erin Andrews, and I made the switch to SK Energy Shots. Why? Because trying to cover every sport in America requires hard work and high energy. So when I need that energy boost to be my best, instead of those chemical-filled sports and energy drinks, I drink SK Energy Shots. SK is a better source of energy, made for people who care about what goes into their bodies. They're made with antioxidants and vitamins, with none of the bad stuff.
SK Energy Shots, voted #1 in energy. Make the switch to a better source of energy today. Available at 7-Eleven, Planet Fitness, Rite Aid, and your local retailers.
It's the sale Michigan's been waiting for 1 week only. It's Benton Chevrolet Cadillac GMC's gigantic 30th anniversary sale. Both sides of Henry Street are packed wall to wall with vehicles. And right now, get up to 30% off your new car. Trade-in values are at an all-time record high. Buy low and sell high. Get up to 30% off your new car. 0% financing and up to $10,000 in discounts and more. Right now, get a 2013 Chevy Silverado, only $198 a month, plus 2 years free maintenance. Or a 2013 Chevy Cruze, only $79 a month. A huge selection of Chevy Malibus at $109 per month. And Chevy Equinox, just $119 a month. We want and need your trade. And values are at record high levels. Plus, get up to 30% off the price of your new vehicle. Every vehicle sold is backed by the Benton Low Price Guarantee. Only at the Benton Chevrolet Cadillac GMC's anniversary sale. Both sides of Henry Street, Muskegon. The time to buy is now.
News Talk 1090 WKBZ has a great way for you to save money. Up to 70% off on the items you want, like accessories for your man cave, fitness memberships, car care packages, GoPro cameras, and a lot more. Visit bidonwestmichigan.com, check out all the items, and make sure that you register yourself as a bidder. So check out the spring auction right now at bidonwestmichigan.com.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Julian with Safe Light Auto Glass.
So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Only America's largest gives you the reliability of the Safe Light Advantage. It's what makes us different, with over 5,000 mobile glass shops in all 50 states. So we're always nearby, and the only national lifetime guarantee, keeping you covered wherever you are. Make the safe choice.
Just ask your insurance company for Safe Light, or call 800-800-2727, or go to safelight.com.
Ah, the sound of small business, getting busier. Can you tell which one is using AT&T? Truth is, they all are, because businesses of all kinds can find AT&T customizable plans that fit their exact needs. Whether it's broadband, mobility, or nationwide voice, at AT&T, we can help your business get humming.
I need more receipt paper, please.
Call 1-855-877-4288 today and ask about special offers available for new small business packages. AT&T, rethink possible.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. On this, his first Sunday as Pope, Francis continues to surprise.
When he went to the Vatican's parish church of St. Anna this morning, he obviously had pretty heavy security around him, but he seemed to eschew that to meet the parishioners one by one, shaking hands, kissing them. He talked to some of the children.
Robert Nisbet of Fox Sister Network Sky News. A verdict in the non-jury trial of 2 Ohio teens charged with rape will be announced today. Happy St. Patrick's weekend.
They've been hitting the bars in Chicago since Friday. And these folks couldn't contain themselves in New York during the parade Saturday. St. Patrick's Day, which honors the patron saint who brought Christianity to Ireland, has already started with a bang, or a bagpipe. Popular landmarks around the world are going green this weekend, like the London Eye, the pyramids in Egypt, and Niagara Falls.
Fox Radio's Joy Piazza, Fox News. We report, you decide.
What's a lever action? What's a pump? What's an automatic? What's a bolt action? Hi folks, I'm Tom Gresham and I invite you to join me as we answer these and other questions on Gun Talk. Gun Talk is the only show out there about gun rights, collecting, personal defense, sport, and recreational shooting. And of course, we never forget about safety on Gun Talk.
It's Gun Talk, Sunday afternoons at 3 on News Talk 1090 WKBZ, the talk of Muskegon.
Well, you dadgum government, you sorry so-and-sos. You got your damn hands in every pocket of my clothes. Well, you
That dadgum government. Well, needless to say, we're not thrilled with that dadgum government, but we're trying to make it a little bit better, trying to get you informed, give you some of the tools that you can utilize to make our government more responsive and maybe make things a little bit better for folks rather than never-endingly making it more intrusive and more expensive for us. I am Muskegon. She's only got a few minutes left here. I wanted to mention I did give kudos to those two, I believe, brave leaders of their two communities, Norton Shores and Fruitport Township, for their move on the water. But I do want to jump all over the Norton Shores folks, and I would imagine, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine it includes the mayor of Norton Shores. Norton Shores has decided that they want to go ahead and provide garbage pickup for the citizens of Norton Shores. Now, currently, we can pick from a variety of garbage disposal companies, and if we're unhappy with one, and I was unhappy once with one, and I moved to another one. Now that the city of Norton Shores has said, well, we don't want to do that, and it would not surprise me. They tried this a couple years ago. They had one of the busiest meetings they've ever had. It's clear the people in the city don't want this to happen, but as so often happens in our communities, the government says, well, screw the people. We're just going to go right ahead with whatever we want, and we'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until we can get away with it. And but here's what I found interesting, and this is where our, I believe, lapdog local press, I'm sure the good folks at the Chronicle do their best to bring the news to us, but there seems to be a lack of curiosity that is stunning sometimes, and they have become, in far too many cases, just an arm of the public relations of any governmental organization that's interested in spending more and expanding their power. But here's the way it was reported in the Chronicle. Barsak, who apparently is the Norton Shores official who's been pushing this, he said residents voted for a $1.5 million street improvement bond, and the effort to reduce garbage traffic is just a larger part of reducing road damage. So our garbage trucks, if we just put them on in one company, which would not surprisingly would be run by Norton Shores. But here's what he goes in here. He says, we have multiple garbage haulers running up and down our streets in a given week. Quote, it makes our city looks trashy because there are always garbage cans out. He said some studies, now I love this, some studies estimate that road damage caused by one garbage truck equates the wear and tear caused by 12,000 to 18,000 cars, depending on the size of the truck. Some studies say that. I'd like to see those studies. Aside from curtailing road damage, maintaining a more picturesque town, and saving residents money, City officials believe contracting refuse services will address safety concerns the trucks pose to motorists, pedestrians, and, of course, school-age children. Now, this was written, and by the way, most of that was not a quote. Perhaps it was a compilation. That was essentially the extent of the reportage from the reporter at the Muskegon Chronicle M Live. No mention of the fact that if you know anybody who lives in Muskegon, where they do have, quote, free garbage pickup, that in fact they don't pick up many things. They've got little tiny dumpsters. There's any number of reasons why you would hate it. The most important being that if you don't like it, you can choose another one, which is what the city of Norton Shores just did with their water system, but they don't want you to have choice. This is a creeping, never-ending grab for power, grab for money, under the guise that it's going to save you money, it's going to curtail road damage, it's going to make a more picturesque town. Who could be against that? And it's going to address the safety concerns that we all have, not just for motorists and pedestrians, but for school-age children.
Again,
that's a bad Saturday Night Live skit.
I am almost speechless. I say almost because, of course, I got to make a comment on it, which is, every time that you restrict people's choice, you wear away the freedom that we all have. Any of these things are just chipping away at free choice.
I understand
freedom,
Norton Shores' reasons, though. But I lived there for about 7 years, and I didn't agree with some of them at the time, but I understand they're trying to keep the property value up and the neighborhood to look nice and all that kind of thing.
Sure,
but,
absolutely.
So I don't.
Then there are other ways to do it.
There are other ways.
There's other ways to do it. I mean, for instance, as far as garbage pickup, I mean, I don't know about you, Fred, but I live in Fruitland Township. I just take my garbage to the dump.
Yeah.
It saves me about $60 every time to do that.
Cindy and I don't have a garbage pickup either. We do the same thing.
Well, what you also have in places like Detroit, like Muskegon Heights, where you have very restrictive but albeit free pickup. Of course, with the union contracts and everything else, of course, it doesn't pay at all. What you have are people that take their trash and they just dump it by the side of the road because the hauler won't pick it up. Again, this is, to me, the most important thing is all of these motorists, pedestrian, and school-age children who have been living under fear for their own safety all of these decades because of these rogue garbage trucks. I don't know if anybody remembers seeing
careening down the road, trash falling from all sides.
What was the Dennis?
Green toxic stuff coming out of the back.
Potholes in the street everywhere. It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's and again, and
thousands of cars being replaced by these garbage trucks.
They don't mention how the earth would be saved too by reducing the trucks moving around. But anyway, it's to me, you guys may trivialize it, but
I'm not trivializing it at all.
When you've got motorists, pedestrians, and school-age children living in fear and probably many of them being crushed by
garbage trucks.
These garbage trucks. This is a way to alleviate that very severe problem.
Do you have in Motor Shores? Do you have the separation of the cans and paper and all that stuff, or do you just
yes, it's voluntary.
Recycling?
It's voluntary.
They do have recycling there.
After you separate them all, then they dump them all in the same container.
The one doesn't know, but I do know that the earth is a lot cleaner because of it.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry.
But in keeping with this, frankly, it's nanny state. But in keeping with this concept that you are too freaking stupid to keep yourself from getting run over by a truck, our sheriff wants to jump in on this. And again, this is another one of these brilliantly written pieces from the Chronicle. Quote, there is a private citizen who has expressed a genuine interest in how to make it safer for the joggers and bikers and walkers in our area, said Sheriff Dean Rossler, recently reelected Dean Rossler. Quote, we will be working on a program to provide reflective vests to those who request them. The program details are in the preliminary stages, but Rossler said he would like to make that happen soon for area residents who enjoy exercising outdoors.
The good thing about this, and I know that it doesn't say this in there, but this is how the mandatory helmets for kids on bikes worked. First it was
children. Clearly, you hate children.
First it was voluntary. Then it became, a good thing that we advertised, and then the next thing you know is we all look like a bunch of damn prisoners walking by the roadside.
But we're not dead. We're not dead. And this is what he's trying to protect us from. Well, anyway, if you're interested in one of these freebies, which I don't, it doesn't indicate where the money's going to come from, but clearly our bettors are looking out for us so that we don't get hit by various vehicles and who knows
peasants.
what. There's probably cougars and all sorts of...
Thank you, our overlords. We appreciate you.
There we go. Well, if you can either thank them or you can call them. Go to ionmuskegon.com.
Your benevolence is wonderful.
Hey, we're running out of time here. Hey, don't forget, I do post the audio at Ion Muskegon on Sunday afternoons. I'll be on the Talking Muskegon show Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week. We'll have Baker College President Lee Coggins going to be my co-host Monday, and then we're going to have that wild man, Mike Hewitt, from the Renegade River Show, both Tuesday and Wednesday. Captain Fred, Oscar, all you wonderful listeners, thanks for tuning in. Pass the word.
Too,
we're trying to fight the good fight, folks. Have a great week and a little piece of heaven. Next week, we'll put the eye on you, Muskegon.
Renegade River in Spring Lake wants to buy your used handguns and hunting guns. Renegade River, your hunting, camping, and survival store. Stop in and check out their new and used firearms, sporting goods, army,